one. Take it away.
Flip those pancakes, whip that butter, and drizzle that syrup. Good morning from the 808 Breakfast Banter. Woo, 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 woo. Good morning, team.
Morning.
Happy Friday. We made it to the end of the week. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm just stoked that we got here. We covered, what did we cover? We covered that pineapple doesn't go on pizza. We even covered if someone's got food stuck in their teeth, we'll tell them. And we got through the week and the bro got some track pants. I am stoked. What a big week. How you feeling, bro? Made it to Friday. Level 2 announcement. Let's go.
Yeah, like it's been massive. And the biggest thing, right, is that I'm now getting track pants back into everyone's minds because damn, kids, like I'm shocked at how many people don't have track pants.
Right?
Are you freaking kidding me? Like, right? I trained in track pants yesterday. Lifesaver.
Lifesaver. Save those knees, eh?
Save those knees. Save those knees. But man, like, track pants are life. We are at level 2. So we're going to do some announcements on that. But you know what? Roll the footage.
What's up, guys?
What is
man?
The breakfast banter. Let's get it. Let's talk about pancakes. Let's talk about burritos, chorizos. What do we want to talk about? Honey, butter, tortillas, tacos. What are we doing?
All that good stuff. All that good stuff.
Hey man, thank you so much for coming onto the show. Like, fuck, you have no idea how much you guys inspire us to do what we're doing, and we're kind of just starting out. You guys are like up here, and we're kind of leveling up to you guys.
Yeah.
So, so what we wanted to do is we wanted to kind of bring you to the New Zealand public, our fan base, and our community, and the wider community in New Zealand, because we all follow you. When the fittest came out was right when we hit level 4 lockdown, which is basically when they shut the country down, and you literally brought us through for the first 2 weeks. I don't know how many times I watched that sitting on the concept tube bike.
Thank you.
Nuts. It was nuts.
Yeah, it's been crazy. It was really cool just to have the community rally around the movie release and putting it out early, and everybody's been pretty thrilled with it as much as we are. So
epic work.
And we got to ask Mars, how's the knee?
Oh man, it's good. I mean, I've got a good range of motion going on this thing. Just keeping it lubed up.
Yeah.
But I started air squatting for the first time yesterday, and doing light jogs and stuff. But tomorrow is 3 weeks, so I wasn't expecting to be moving around doing what I'm doing at this point. So it's great. Yeah,
and how's your guys kind of lockdown, social distancing, that sort of stuff going for you guys in the States? We're coming out of it in New Zealand. We are now at the backside of it. We've had 0 cases for quite a while, and we're now starting to reopen everything. So how's it for you guys?
Wow, that's surprising because I mean we're in Utah and it's kind of open. Like the restaurants are open, and
we can't dine in restaurants yet, but we're supposedly on the backside of it as well. We'll see if that stays the case, as there's still lots of outbreaks happening here in the States, but we're isolated here in Utah, and they haven't had a whole lot of impact from COVID yet, so they're starting to open our state back up. But we'll see if that continues.
The gym just opened up. That was surprising, but
had some squats and leg day yesterday there. I had to wear a mask though.
Yeah. We're looking at reopening our gym next week. So they just put out all the description of what we're allowed to do and not allowed to do. So, but yeah, I mean, it does help that our country is only probably like the size of Utah, so that does help.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Hey man, Mars and Heeds, I'm a big fan of the Buttery Bros. I watched The Fittest and fizzed out in my way. The way I would describe it, I fizzed out watching it. And then after that, I jumped on YouTube and watched every video of the Buttery Bros. And this has inspired the 808 Breakfast Banter, and just even we've got another show called the RX Debrief that I do with a couple of the boys from the gym, and this is all inspired from the Buttery Bros. But I want to know though, what was your guys' first how did you guys first meet, and what was your first project? That's what I want to know.
Okay, so let me set the scene. It's 2010. CrossFit's just coming in its infancy. They have this new season called the Sectionals. This is before Sanctionals. This is before the CrossFit Games open.
Wow.
This is after the CrossFit Games have been going for 3 years. They had 2007, 8, 9, 2010 season. I'm there as a representative of CrossFit HQ on like my 5th job for CrossFit as a contractor at the time, covering this sectional at a local event here in Utah.
Yeah.
And my job that weekend was to create highlight videos from what was happening at the sectionals.
Right.
Marsden's girlfriend at the time was competing, so this guy comes up to me and goes, "Hey man, could I get access to the competition floor?" And I'm like, "Oh, cool," because I'm like, I'm the HQ guy,
Yeah,
but I'm not really.
He was hot shit. You know?
Yeah, I was, waving my big authoritative flag around, and Marsden said, "Hey, could I come and film on the floor?" I said, "Actually, I'm doing this all by myself. Yeah, absolutely. Come if you could share the footage with me, that would be awesome."
What was crazy is I remember he showed up that second day of competition and he had turned around an entire day from the previous day as like a highlight video, and this was like back before people were doing like daily vlogs and everything like that. And I was like, wait, you stayed up all night and you made this thing in the same day and it's up already? I was like blown away, and that was like my first introduction to Hebes and how fast and efficient he is at working and creating content.
Yeah. So I got the highlight video I've done quick, and then it was continuing to make more of them. And Marsden showed up the day after the competition at my apartment here in Salt Lake and had a hard drive with really organized footage and all the clips labeled, and it made it super easy for me to work with it. And I liked his attitude and said, "Hey, I'm going to introduce you to my friends over at CrossFit HQ. I've just started working with them. Maybe they can get you some work." And so that was the first time that we worked together. And then over the next, decade, we became really good friends and worked a lot on various projects together.
That is epic. And then all of a sudden, pancake time, waking cake.
Yep, waking cake. Next thing you know, we're making pancakes and we're selling butter,
Yeah, I didn't know.
Churning on the griddle.
I've always liked pancakes. Who doesn't like pancakes? But
I didn't know I was going to be known for it.
I didn't know that would be, like kind of like your daily go-to.
I didn't know I was going to be a pancake guy.
You have to crush a stack of cakes right now. And I was like, all right, I guess I can do that.
You're going to die with me.
Yeah, I can do it.
How have you found the fitness content world changing? Like from when you guys first started to now, like the evolution of content creation and the way it's dynamic. I mean, Mo and I were just talking offline a little bit about like when was the first time you saw Hebes and Mars and I've watched you. I mean, I really guys came across you guys about 2014 when I watched the Froning documentary, and Rich Froning blamed you Heber for smashing a window on the baseball shot, and I was like, man, who's Heber? And then that's when I started to learn about you guys. How have you found the evolution of it changing from behind the scenes to getting in front of the camera? How have you found that change?
I mean, like as far as I feel like we got into the field at like a really good time, because if I was doing what we're doing now back in like the film days where you're like snipping and editing like that, I probably wouldn't be doing it. But just since getting out of school, like with, the emergence of digital technology and being able to have like gimbals that'll stabilize all your footage, and now drones and stuff just keeps getting smaller and more accessible for people. And for people like us that are content creators, it's been great because it just makes our job better, and the level of quality that we can achieve for just a couple of guys making a YouTube show has been pretty outstanding. If I'm tooting my own horn.
That's epic.
You toot that horn, buddy.
I reckon, honestly, like that is YouTube vlogging is like the new thing. Like it's Hollywood's gone now. It's like YouTube vloggers, content creators, they're the new Hollywood. And like you guys have just leveled up in terms of like the fitness game. Like I want to watch CrossFit and I want to watch guys eat pancakes. Like I want to see the nitty gritty of what the athletes go through. And I think that's the storytelling part that you guys share so well, is you get in behind the scenes, you actually talk to the athletes, and I love it. I love it. What I wanted to know was, what are the next power moves for the Buttery Bros?
The next power moves for us?
Yeah. What's the next moves? Because you dropped the fittest.
Oh, okay. Like what's in the works? What we got like the next project?
I'll tell you, we had a very solid plan for 2020, and then COVID. So right now, just like the rest of the world, we're in a very lucky situation where we're able to continue to create content and generate and work with these limitations and how the world is evolving. But some of our bigger projects are pivoting based on season changes and what's happening in the sport of fitness, and then also with limitations put on travel. So we had some really ambitious plans for 2020, and now it looks like we've got some really ambitious plans for 2021 that we can't quite discuss because we don't know if that's actually going to happen. So I don't want to tease anything that can't guarantee be a reality at this point.
But in the meantime, we're putting up the finishing touches on this fully wrapped buttery truck, and we're gonna get out. We're gonna get out on the road and be doing a bunch of visits to athletes. I mean, with permitting, if people are comfortable with that and stuff, with road trips and getting out and visiting people.
Oh, that is so cool.
What do you think then would be the new way that people will start to consume the footage that you guys are doing, right? So, like, you know, a lot of it is, as we're starting to learn, everyone makes really great content, but it's how you consume it. What do you think is the next hack that people will do when it comes to consumption of the content that you guys create and what other people create? But then also, what do you think will be the next step up that you guys will take in terms of how you bring footage across? You look at, like, you know, if you think of like the NFL and the NBA, they mic up athletes when they're doing workouts and you can talk to them and stuff like that. Is that kind of something that you guys would think about in the future, or even something even far left of field that no one's ever thought about?
I think there's something, someone just asked if we use like a 360 camera and some of our stuff. We use that pretty frequently. In terms of like the next tech thing that we're going to do or storytelling piece, CrossFit is a very unique sport where, not unique, but you can't restrict an athlete's movement in any way. And so we wouldn't be able to mic up an athlete, maybe a judge. I would love to do that. But
like
also,
you threw a camera on a judge at one point, right?
Yeah, I put cameras on judges, like Khalifa's judge back at the 2013 regionals. I put a mic on his head and then filmed kind of a cool little video of their interaction. But some of that is limited based on that we don't work for CrossFit HQ anymore, so we don't have full access like we used to really kind of like interfere in weird and fun ways. But so I don't know, like our format works really well. We know how to tell that story in terms of like the documentary side. Like that is a really risky foray into storytelling. Where we would probably take more risks like that would be on the Buttery Bros show. And that's kind of like our playground. Like we can do whatever we want without really any restrictions there. Where the documentary storytelling, like that's more of the focus of the athletes and how superheroes they are. And so to mess with that, you want to make sure that what you're going to do there is going to work really well. And we use the Buttery Bros as kind of like our testing ground for that.
Yeah, like so the Buttery Bros show is kind of like our experiment to be able to get to different locations with different athletes, but also be just kind of collecting different scenes or like something that happened really cool that was dramatic that we're like, well, let's save that for the documentary. It's good footage, but we don't want to like give it away in the show. So it's this balancing act between our entertainment aspect of the Buttery Bros show, but then also being able to harness a lot of good stuff for release later in documentary storytelling.
How do you figure out how to tell a story? Like you know, if you think about, say, Tribal Clash, right? You guys came down to Sydney, to Wollongong. You actually met one of our members, and she actually did the caddy litter dance with you guys on your show.
Nice.
Litter box.
The little box dance. And I want to ask you, you know, there's a question I want to ask on that one as well. But how do you develop? How do you think? You go to Wollongong and go, oh yeah, this is how we're going to do it, or do you just do a whole lot of footage, put it all together, and then start to think about what story will look like?
I'd say it's different for every trip that we take, but as we get to these locations and we find that there's, you know, entertaining stuff for us to do, but also things that will all appear exciting on video, like jumping out of an airplane right above the competition there in Wollongong. And then we also like try to do as many things outside of just the competition and outside of what we're originally there to do, to kind of like take in the full landscape and then maybe the culture or whatever it is. And what's funny is, you know, you set out with kind of general guidelines of what you think the story will be, and as it develops, it like becomes something more, and then we really kind of figure it out in post-production of how we can tell the story the best. And sometimes you need to do some like some recaps to kind of talk over what was happening, and other times you can kind of use the interviews and the stuff and the people that we talk to on location.
Damn.
How did the caddy litter dance start?
How did it start?
Yeah. How did you guys come up with it's such a random thing that now whenever I go to CrossFit Comp in New Zealand, everyone's freaking doing it. Everyone.
That's so funny. Well, I think it originally started as like air bongos. Like we were thinking we were playing like playing the bongos, you know, and then it just kind of like evolved to like.
And then you hinge at the hip, like
you hinge at the hip, and then all of a sudden I was like, man, I feel like I'm like I feel like I'm like a kitty litter.
Sweet dance move.
I'm like, let's just call it the litter box. And I think the second you name it, once you give it a name, then it like takes on a life of its own.
So in the original clip that we have of Marsden doing that, I'm in the background and I don't know what he's doing, but I edited that dance sequence. And when I pulled to that shot, I like fell on the floor crying, laughing because of how funny it looked. And so in the next episode, we were in Hawaii, and I was like, "We're doing this. We're making this a thing." And so I got Tommy and Marsden and myself behind Chief as he's standing with his arms folded like this, and we're all doing the litter box. So we jumped off of Marsden's genius to create something that is, you know, profoundly impacting the world in a positive way now.
I know, it's so weird. It's so weird to have somebody approach you at an event and be like, "Hey, can we take a photo? But
can we do a litter box?
I want to do a litter box." And I'm like, "Sure." You know, I didn't think this was going to be a thing.
Or you get tagged in like wedding videos of like old people going out on the dance floor and freaking doing a litter box.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow, you look ridiculous and fantastic.
Oh, that's great. Hey, I want to know though as well is how do you approach, especially when you're about to do an episode and you're approaching an athlete, how do you do you know them personally, or do you come up with a plan about how you're going to approach them? What's the go there?
It varies athlete to athlete. Some athletes we have a really good relationship with over the decade of working with athletes in the CrossFit space, and we have a very known name. But we've had athletes on the Buttery Bros show who we've met for the first time. Like we met this guy named Steve Weatherford, who's a former NFL punter who was named like Men's Fitness's
NFL's fittest man.
Yeah, NFL's fittest man multiple years in a row. He's a superhuman dude, really large personality. And he had messaged me on Instagram about some questions about filmmaking. And then I messaged and said, "Hey, I'm coming to San Diego. Would love to come have you put us through an arm workout." Yeah. Usually if we're approaching an athlete that is outside of our space, we try to target to their specialty. Like I knew he had an arm building program and was going to be happy to promote that. But then we have athletes like Demi Bagby, who isn't a CrossFitter. She's just kind of an Instagram fitness personality, and she was fantastic and was going to be at the CrossFit Games. And so we reached out to her and said, "Hey, do you want to come goof around with us on our show?" And she was like, "Absolutely." So she came and did some backflips for us to introduce the second episode of the CrossFit Games behind the scenes episode. So that's how every athlete's very different. Those are two specific that are outside of CrossFit that we didn't know until we were actually on the set shooting. But everyone else, like I know Brooke Wells on a personal basis. I could shoot her a text.
Sleep Queen.
Hey, Sleep Queen. We're coming to Kentucky.
But what we've been doing recently, just because, you know, with quarantine and everything, is we've been going back and looking at everybody that we didn't get to feature in our movie and trying to take advantage of all that unused footage that we can at least tell their story in some way and give a little tip of the hat to the athletes that didn't get as much feature as we would like.
Yeah. That is epic. Because the Netflix Dubai, did you guys have anything to do with that? No? Or
we're like a distant relative of that film.
Yeah, we're like a stepchild.
Oh, well, I'm telling everyone that you guys did it, so.
No, we did not do
don't miscredit. We helped shoot some of it, and gave some advice at the early stages of production. But we were there filming our own movie, and part of the rules of engagement was that we were going to be sharing our footage with them, and so we gave them some of our footage, and they gave us a scenic aerial shot that we used in our film. Wow. So yeah, our voices are all over it. Marsden shot all the beautiful, not all of it, but he shot most of them. He shot all the movie footage, but there's other competition footage on the floor that they shot. They had beautiful cameras. They have a great setup, but we had zero to do with the film once the competition was over and we were out the door.
Oh wow!
Oh whoa!
That's
there's a scene in I can't remember. I think it was some stuff with the games last year. So I met Hunter McIntyre several years ago. Yeah,
Who's that?
I think you don't know. I
Never
think
heard
you're
of
gonna
him.
know what. You never heard of him? Yeah, 100% right.
never heard
So
of him.
I used to do world stuff as a mother. I used to go to Vegas, and anyway, he came over to New Zealand because he was like a big thing in the obstacle racing scene. And then and you know, I had interesting dealings with him. And then I saw the video footage of him being a douchebag in the setup. Is he really that much of a? I'm gonna say, is he a dick?
I'll tell you, we've had zero interaction with that guy except for 2 times. The first time, like, he's the wild card. I'm going to go give him shit. He's made this big noise about how he needs to be at the CrossFit Games, and we were at a competition called the Granite Games where their slogan was "Earned, Not Given." And so I went up to him and I just said, "Hey, what do you think of this question? Like, what do you think of the slogan of this event? Is that ironic to you? Like, what are your thoughts here?" And semi-joking, especially because Brent Pikowski's there, and he's been very vocal about how this guy probably shouldn't have qualified for the CrossFit Games, and they've had banter before on social media.
Yeah.
Apparently he didn't like that because the next interaction we had was when he pushed Marjan's camera out of our face.
And I was just generally like, I was like, I want to give this guy a chance to, you know, potentially be in our movie.
It was the first time Marjan had ever talked to him.
And I sat down and, you know, like, I've never been turned away from an athlete, which, you know, whatever, but I sat down and I started asking him some questions, and he immediately like, pushed the camera out of my face, and he was like, "I don't like you guys. I don't like your YouTube channel." And I was like,
"Whoa."
Well, I mean, we gave you some shit because you were the wild card, but like, expect that. Like, if I was the wild card, I'd expect people to come after me a little bit, but like, don't take it personal, you know?
Yeah. Don't take it personal and prove me wrong. I'm not here to make fun of you. I'm here to say, like, hey, I'm going to give you a little bit of tease, but like prove yourself. And
then he's recently reached out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's actually tried to assault me on social media.
Yeah. He said he wanted to be a boxing match, me and Heber versus him. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the rule was he had to teabag us regardless if he won or lost. And so we haven't responded to that message.
I guess
I'm glad I don't know who he is.
Yeah, we don't. He was certainly an interesting character when he came to New Zealand, and I'm glad I don't have anything to do with that side of
a lot of ego with that guy.
Yeah, it was crazy. All right, so what we want to do is that we've got some questions to quickly fire after some quick flick ones. Auntie Mo is gonna go through it all, you guys. And then so good luck.
We'll go quickly. I'm gonna go. Who would win in an arm wrestle? So this is our little game. Will usually be who would have won in a fight, but we'll do arm wrestle today. Who would win in an arm wrestle out of Rich, Froning, and Matt Fraser?
Oh God, no, that's really hard.
I think a stalemate.
Yeah, I think they would just be pitted there, just staring each other in the eyes.
Yeah, and then it would just turn into an epic high five, like the Predator.
They just turn into dust.
Okay, who would win in an arm wrestle out of you two?
I mean, I'm not gonna vote against myself. You know, like we go against each other every day. I mean, I'm not just gonna like, oh, you can give me an arm wrestle, not today.
Hey, I saw you do those 150 kills with the Thunder Bro, and I was at Dave Litz, and I was like, man, Mars has got some pipes.
Yeah. A couple of gardener snakes
not the size of the dog, you know. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog, buddy.
You bet.
Okay, the next one is who would win in an arm wrestle between Mars and Tia?
Oh man, Tia's got some pipes. We did a whole pump sesh with her. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I could beat a woman in an arm wrestling, but she's the fittest on earth. You know, I think
you're making a sexist thing. I
think I got the advantage. I don't know.
Okay, what about Heaves and Kristen Holter?
I'd take her.
I mean,
all day.
For fun.
I mean,
you know?
if it was a run, she'd probably beat you in a run.
She would dust me in most things, but when it comes to arms, I fire off some, you know.
Okay. Now I've got some would you rathers. Okay, so I've got 2 good would you rathers. Would you rather pancakes with no syrup or pancakes with no butter?
Pancakes with no syrup.
Yeah.
So
pancake with no syrup.
Yeah.
I feel like the butter is the lubricant that I'm looking for.
Gotta lube it up. Okay. Would you rather lose all your money and possessions or all the content you've ever created?
Lose all my money or all my content?
Oh God, what a question!
I lose all my money. I you know.
Yeah, like
I got history.
Yeah, you have no photos of your kids no more.
No.
Nobody knew.
No, having had all my content stolen from me in Spain, I keep the content.
Yeah, I think we could like somehow generate more money with the content than just losing the money. And
yeah. That's a goodie. I relate to that one too. I would rather lose money and possessions all day.
But I like my shit, I don't want to lose all my shit.
Fair enough. Oh.
All right. Just last one. Would you rather Chipotle or Taco Bell?
Chipotle.
Yeah. Chipotle is like,
I can't remember the last time I went to Taco Bell.
It's like a sophisticated Taco Bell.
Yeah. Taco Bell with a mustache and a bow tie.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe New Zealand's a little bit slow, but we've just got a Taco Bell, our very first one here.
Yeah.
And they had lines when they opened, which was the end of last year. They had lines that were almost 3 hours long.
Wow.
I mean, if you haven't had a Taco Bell chalupa, then get the F out.
Gordita Wrap Crunch Supreme or whatever they got.
Last one, In-N-Out Burger, McDonald's. Who would you
In-N-Out
have?
Burger for sure,
for sure. And that's not saying much about McDonald's or In-N-Out. Both of them are not very good. But of the two bad choices, In-N-Out.
No, dude, In-N-Out's a good quality. They got real ingredients, and I think they make the potatoes right there.
Oh
no, that's Five Guys.
So that is great.
I tell you what, every time I went to the States, when I went to Vegas, the first thing I ever did was went to In-N-Out Burger, and after every race I ever did, no matter, I think I even passed out at an In-N-Out Burger because I was so tired from the race. I still had an In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah, I just last week, my girlfriend had never had In-N-Out Burger, so I was like, I'll be right back. She's like, where are you going? And I'm like, if I had told her, she probably had not been stoked. But then I just showed up with this lettuce wrapped burger, and I was like,
yeah.
I am God.
I got on one knee.
Yeah.
She's like, are you proposing? He's like, no, I bought you a burger.
Like, so what do you think? And she's just like,
yeah. The next best is not a ring. It's a lettuce and meat.
She was actually telling all her friends that you were about to propose.
Wait, what?
You should get Sammy to do her version of an In-N-Out Burger, and then get an In-N-Out Burger, and then have a test.
No,
she would crush.
She would. Yeah, not even fair.
Her cooking's good, right? Like,
it's so good.
So good.
I've never had anything that was not good. Like and it's like she always is like, when we're on the road and stuff, she'll be cooking for Matt, and we're always like, so when's dinner?
You have any leftovers? Hook us up, girl.
I'm trying to know what you're feeding that boy. What you feeding that Matty Phrase right now?
I love that. No,
so what we'll do is that we just want to wish you all the very best. I know that you're on the cusp of 100,000 subscribers for YouTube, so hopefully we'll be able to send some your way from NZ.
Awesome.
And man, just keep doing what you guys are doing, brothers. You guys are just like crushing life, and you guys are super huge inspirations. I was saying to Auntie Mo last week, I said, if I love the world of CrossFit and the fitness thing, but hands down, the two people that I want to meet more than the athletes were you two and Dave Castro. So if I could
thank you.
Then that's in front, because you guys are huge inspirations for us. And hopefully we
need to get back down to New Zealand.
Yeah, somebody was asking when we're coming out,
Yeah,
as soon as the restrictions are done, we're going to be down there,
Come down and play with hobbits.
I want to, I've been wanting to see Mordor,
Yeah, well, we're only around the corner, so and you'll be welcome with open arms, I can tell you that.
Definitely.
Well, thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much, brothers. We will love you, leave you, let you guys out, but Brady Bros out, boys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was insane! Go, we gotta do the kitty little dance. Yeah. That was bro.
That was awesome.
Bro. All our Banter fam, jump on YouTube, go subscribe to the Buttery Bros YouTube channel. If you haven't got anything to do, go and watch a couple of their clips. Jamie Green's one's the one that I shared a couple of weeks ago. But they're good guys. Like, are you kidding? Are you kidding? They made time for us.
Yeah, and they've just come off 2 hours of doing their own interviews with stars that they're dealing with at the moment. So it was super. I was starstruck, man. I let Mo take over to the first part because I was just literally just like watching. I was it was very, very cool. And there's going to be
Bro.
more in the pipeline, team.
Yeah, team.
We only just getting started.
Only scratching the surface.
Yeah.
Like, but happy birthday, brother Paz. I did sing it, and I didn't want to interrupt the bros, but happy birthday, my brother. I hope your girls and your team spoil you today. I'm sure we will be catching up next week for a beverage or a couple.
Cheeky shit, you didn't tell me this morning either. I didn't even check Facebook until after the workout.
Yes, bro. I was like, oh, he kept that under the radar.
Don't worry. Apparently, his birthday week, so I'll catch you. You're what, 45 now, I think. So we'll catch you up. I'm legit shaking.
Yeah, I'm fizzing, bro. I am fizzing. Everyone knows what this fizzing smile is. Like, actually.
Yeah, 100%. Hey guys, we know we had other things we want to talk about, but we won't get through it today. But we'll cover that off tomorrow. However, we always like to finish off. Send us a quote.
Number. Where's my book?
Give us a quote.
Yeah.
Let us know, and then we'll let you guys get out of here. Attack your Friday, and we will talk a little bit more about tomorrow about the level 2, what that's going to look like in the gym.
Yeah.
And a few other things. So here we go. Numbers are coming up. Hopefully, I know. Hang on. How old is he? He's 41. Let's do 41 for Paz.
41 for my bro.
My bro.
My bro.
Can you do it in a South African accent as well?
Oh, I can't. This is a big one. I can't. I can't.
Oh, come on. Step up. Step up.
Nah,
step up.
I can't right now. Okay. The quote number is just too big, and I can't. Okay, I lost it. Okay, page 41. Sow a thought and you reap an act. Sow an act and you reap a habit. Sow a habit and you reap a character. Sow a character and you reap a destiny.
Whoa, that is good.
Happy birthday, Paz. That's a good number, bro.
Happy birthday, Paz.
That was a good number. I love that quote, and I think that's an epic one for everyone. That is actually, that's a really good one for the crew to get through Friday, getting through the last 6 weeks. Let's sign off for today, bro, but we'll be back in the morning. Let's discuss level 2. Everyone have a good day. Be kind. Do something nice for someone. Tell someone you love them. I'm so stoked, bro. Happy Friday.
Yeah. Happy Friday, team. Love you all.
Woo!